In this video, I will spend 100 days in a communal apartment where 4 unique families reside. I will play as 3 of them, but the 4th family remains a mystery, as one room is vacant and a character provided by the game will live there. Who will this mysterious neighbor be? Before the video starts, don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up, and let's get started. First, I will introduce you to the house. Please pay attention to the house that has a shared kitchen for 4 families. There are 2 refrigerators and 2 stoves, several dining tables, and a relaxation area with an old television. This house also has 1 shared bathroom and 1 toilet. Perhaps we are in for real battles for the right to be the first to use them. And let's not forget about the yard. There we have a barbecue area and a small playground, and next to the entrance there is a bench where an individual will likely be found sitting and observing, and judging what is happening around. Let's get to know one of the families with Alexandra. She is a true lady of high society. She loves to surround herself with attention and enjoys the company of various men. It's no surprise that her room stands out from all the others. The most luxurious and stylish, it's unlikely that this is thanks to those generous gentlemen who helped her with the renovation. The goal of a lifetime is to be a cunning partner. In the next room resides Anatoli, the oldest and most experienced tenant of this house. He is essentially the unofficial owner, as he has lived here longer than anyone else. Anatoli takes on the responsibilities for household matters. His strictness and critical nature manifest from time to time, but it is merely a concern for the well-being of the overall home comfort. As an experienced host, he strives to ensure comfort and order so that everyone feels at home. However, behind this serious exterior lies a very polite person indeed. On the culinary front, he is a true magician, preparing delightful dishes and even sharing them with the neighbors. Indeed, it periodically demands rewards. Moreover, despite all his flaws, Anatoli finds peace in meditation. And so indeed, despite his age, Anatoli's main dream is to become a chef. Let's see if he can indeed achieve this deeply cherished dream, as he has little time left. And now we approach the next family. In this room lives the dad guru of the computer world, Oleg, who loves to immerse himself in the world of technology and enjoys reading on various topics. In this warm family, there is also Mom Daria. Her main goal is to make her family happy. Daria is a bit clumsy, but she loves to create a cozy atmosphere in the home. And of course, we must not forget about her 2 delightful daughters, Varvara and Vera. Despite the financial difficulties, the family indeed stays together, all living in one room and supporting each other. But there is one common goal that unites all these families, the dream of having their own home. Each of them dreams of moving out and starting a new life in a separate house. Will each family be able to achieve their dream? After all, they will likely have to overcome many difficulties along the way. What challenges and difficult trials await our heroes on their path to independence and happiness? The answers to these questions await us at the end of this video. Let's move on to the rules of the game. There is absolutely one main rule here. Given that our family's budget is currently $0, each family is required to work currently or use other methods to contribute funds to the common pot. The family in which the character will be the most successful will be the first to move into their own house. So it is necessary to find another neighbor so that the empty room does not remain unused. Next, we will find a job for each of them. Let's start with Alexandra, a girl with unusual moral beliefs. But unfortunately, there is no profession for women of easy virtue in Sims, so she decides not to complicate her life and take on the role of a streamer. In the end, being popular while not having to put in much effort is just to her liking. After successfully securing a job, Alexandra decides to take her career growth into her own hands. She begins by improving her skills in the world of video games, immersing herself in virtual adventures. Then, to very carefully create a creative and memorable biography, she decides to take a photo. And of course, to capture the viewer's attention, Alexandra hosts an exciting live stream of a scary game to add some spice to her streaming life. Anatoli is taking a straightforward path to his dream of becoming a chef by choosing a job in this field. To advance in his career, Anatoli diligently trains his culinary skills in the kitchen. Admittedly, things are not always perfect at the beginning, but experience comes with practice, and Anatoli is ready to overcome any challenges on his path to professional success. Suddenly, a new roommate appears in our story. A man with a rather funny appearance and rosy cheeks.
pink fur, bent limbs with caramel on the sticks. All of this has changed.
And here's the amazing part. The first thing he does is start fixing the stove. Let's see what awaits us with this unexpected yet amusing character. We will be very careful and watch how he interacts with our friendly yet very unique and peculiar group moving forward. In the Zdanov family, the father Oleg suddenly dozed off in the bathroom, tired of the household hustle. Get up, I say, the war has started. Damn it, the bombing is happening, but it's not time to sleep, it's time to get up and go to work. Our father is a true computer genius, so the profession of a technical specialist is perfect for him. And Oleg, just like Sasha, will have to develop his skills in computer games. After all, in the world of technical specialists, not only theoretical knowledge is important, but also the ability to apply it in practice.
Why do I need so many cameras? I remember nothing. Why add the box? What puppet? Why would it come out?
As for Daria, she makes the decision to dedicate herself to raising her little daughters. She genuinely loves her family and believes that no one can replace her caring hand in their upbringing. Moreover, at the moment, they do not have the financial means to hire a nanny. Oh, what a fool. The appearance of a friend of the new neighbor becomes an interesting moment when Alexandra immediately begins to show her charm, trying to win him over by surrounding him with attention and jokes. However, he stops. It is clear that the friend is already married and does not react to provocations regarding the neighbor himself. Here, an unpleasant moment arises as he starts rummaging through Sasha's personal laptop, despite having a computer in his own room. Oh, what a fool. It seems that decisive measures will have to be taken to evict him from the room and impose a ban on entry. The Zdanov family is a true close-knit team, and the father Oleg, despite his busy schedule, always finds time to pay attention to his wonderful daughters. And it is also important for him to pay attention not only to his daughters but also to his wife. However, an awkward situation arises. Doing woohoo in the room with sleeping children is probably likely raising some questions.
Oh, indeed, Spanish shame.
On the other hand, it is clear that it is important for them to spend time together and enjoy each other. In the evening, the whole house has a small picnic, and Anatoli decides to delight everyone with the tastiest burgers. This cozy evening takes place in a warm atmosphere. Even the new neighbor who recently moved in joins the company, light-heartedly joking with Oleg, which adds even more fun to this pleasant evening. But soon it turns out that Daria is pregnant again, and the Zdanov family will soon welcome a third child. However, the feelings are mixed. It is difficult to determine whether it is joy or anxiety. The family seems to be happy, as children are the flowers of life and they are devout people. The decision to terminate the pregnancy is not even considered. However, a problem arises. There just isn't enough space in the room to fit another crib. They also don't have the finances for a move. How they will cope with these difficulties is still unclear. Alexandra goes to the club in search of a new suitor. For some reason, the neighbor went with her. That's fine, he won't bother us. At the club, Sasha starts singing karaoke. She has a pretty good voice. Never be afraid of anything. Live here and now, right now. Enjoy it. And this attracts the attention of men to her. One even approached her to introduce himself. But although he came up to her, he quickly disappeared. But Sasha was not upset and went to get 2 cocktails for herself and the neighbor. It was just strange that the neighbor was already asleep on the couch. Then Sasha very slowly drank those 2 cocktails by herself and went to charm another man. Everything was developing very well between them. Compliment after compliment, then the first kiss, and they were quickly hurrying somewhere. And they were hurrying, of course, to find some privacy. It's strange that after everything that happened, they didn't scatter, but instead went together to grab a bite at a street cafe. But while the guys are just guys, Sasha still loves computer games, so she went to play some virtual game, after which she went home, where Anatoli was sitting at the entrance to the house, looking at her with a disapproving gaze. After all, he understood perfectly well where she was and what she was doing. Meanwhile, Daria, staying at home, simply decided to relax in front of the television. Considering that the pregnancy was affecting her well-being, and it was becoming difficult for her to keep order in the family. However, when Oleg returned from work, He seemed to not understand her condition and was very angry to find the mess in the room and the absence of prepared food. He expressed his dissatisfaction by making her clean, but at the same time he went to do the laundry himself. And he decided to eat in the backyard, where, as usual, Anatoli was grilling something delicious. In an attempt to talk to her husband, Daria found that he did not want to listen to her about her condition, insisting that she should be able to clean up. With a heavy heart, Daria went to hang the laundry, realizing that her husband Oleg did not understand her feelings and the difficulties of her pregnancy. While Oleg was playing computer games, Daria was lovingly putting the children to bed. After a short break spent playing a computer game, Oleg came to his senses and seemed to have softened. During a conversation with his wife, he suddenly confronted the nightmare of his daughter, who claimed that a monster was hiding under her bed. Although Oleg knew that it was just the child's imagination, he decided to joke and pretended to be the hero who drove the monster out from under his daughter's bed to calm her down. Meanwhile, Alexandra invited her new suitor over. To satisfy their desires, they were not bothered by the presence of many people in the house and secluded themselves in the bathroom. After their intimate encounter, the man suggested to Alexandra that they live together. She agreed, hoping for a positive change in her life, but it turned out, unfortunately, that he had no place of his own, yet surprisingly, he had money. Money. Alexandra decided to take a little bit more of his money and get rid of the guy by breaking up with him. Now she had a whole $20,000. However, her former partner did not make her wait long. He called and admitted that he just didn't have money even for cheap housing and asked to come back. But Alexandra was indifferent to other people's problems and refused to help him. While passions were raging in the house, Anatoli was successfully climbing the career ladder and received a well-deserved promotion. He was followed by Oleg, who also achieved success in his professional life. Alexandra did not stay on the sidelines. She was also recognized with a promotion in her career. While everyone was busy with their own tasks, Oleg's eldest daughter Varvara decided to have some fun in the kitchen. This did not go unnoticed by the strict Anatoli, who went out and scolded the girl a little. However, after a brief educational conversation, he offered to teach her how to make delicious chocolate cookies. Varvara was thrilled and, together with Anatoli, prepared a wonderful treat, which they then shared with all the neighbors in the building. Due to the recent events between Oleg and Daria, Daria reached out for support from the new neighbor. She opened her soul to him, sharing the difficulties in her relationship with Oleg, how he does not understand her and does not support her. This new neighbor expressed his support with kind words, becoming a source of comfort and understanding for Daria. There will be no sex. Throughout all this time, it has not been possible to learn about this man's career. However, it can be noticed that he is often engrossed in his tablet, doing something there. I think he might have a creative profession, such as a stylist or designer. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. By the way, Alexandra has a new suitor, but it is still unclear how their relationship will develop. Daria gave birth to a boy, the first heir in this family, and they named him Dmitri. While he is small, his crib fits in their room, but when he needs a bed, there may be problems. I hope that by this time something will change in their financial situation. Alexandra's ex-boyfriend does not relent, almost daily bothering her with calls under various pretexts. However, she has long lost interest in him. What worries her the most is the mess in the house, which Daria does not always have time to clean up after her children, leaving trash everywhere. To distract herself from this problem, Alexandra talks to her new boyfriend, who invites her on a date for Valentine. On their date, they enjoyed the conversation, danced a slow dance, trying to get closer to each other. Sasha even grilled some meat, although she does not consider herself an experienced cook. This date had a strong impact on their relationship, and soon Paolo suggested that Alexandra move in with him. Despite Alexandra's mercantile traits, she also felt genuine feelings for him. Moving to Paolo meant not only a change of residence, but also a radical shift in the level of comfort. Come on, Even though it's still the same communal apartment, the new home impresses with its luxury. A large living room with a modern television, exercise equipment, arcade games, cozy bedrooms, and rooms with double beds. Alexandra found her room here which she liked. The new surroundings and neighbors added freedom and enjoyment to her life. It turns out that interacting with people of her own age brings much more joy and freedom than living in a house with a grandfather and a large family. The untidiness in Daria's room remains a problem that she finds difficult to handle alone. Oleg, instead of offering her help, exacerbates the situation by criticizing her for the mess. When Daria started cleaning and went to wash the sink in the bathroom, Anatoli, who lived in the neighboring room and had heard their arguments, approached to support and encourage her. Later, he actively participated in cleaning throughout the house. In such moments, Daria feels a deep resentment towards her husband. Following the scandal, the Zdanov family decided to improve their living conditions by acquiring additional washing machines and dryers. After a successful cleaning, Anatoly prepared an exquisite dinner and invited the Zdanov family to the table. He decided to bathe and look after the little girl. It seems that the couple has somewhat reconciled. The next morning, despite feeling a bit unwell, Anatoly organized a celebration for the birthday of their daughter and son, preparing a delicious cake for them. Daria could not hide her feelings, and she decided to share them with her neighbor, as he had repeatedly supported her with kind words. Later, in a conversation in the kitchen with her neighbor, she said something harmless, that in her opinion should not have caused her husband's jealousy. However, Oleg indeed began to feel jealous of his wife, believing that she should not be so close with the neighbor. As a result, another scandal erupted in their family, which is far from what Daria dreamed of. She wants a happy family without conflicts. Having gathered enough money after several raises, Anatoly made the decision to fulfill his long-standing dream, to open a small restaurant. He acquires a plot of land in the same area where he lives to start construction. To start with, he bought almost everything necessary, but unfortunately there wasn't enough money for the most important item, the chef's table. Call the chef, let him carry me right to the table. Hoping that after a few paychecks he will be able to save enough to realize his dream and finally open his own establishment. Meanwhile, Alexandra and Paolo take the next serious step in their lives by deciding to purchase a plot of land to build their own house. Despite the comfort of their current home, they realize that owning their own house is an important step. Having enough funds in the budget, they built a small house with one bedroom, a spacious bathroom, and a cozy kitchen and a lovely garden. This is indeed the perfect housing for two, and if necessary, additional rooms can always be added. Since there are 2 vacant rooms in the communal house, the landlord has found 2 new tenants. There were 2 lovely girls. By the way, it's unknown what happened to the previous neighbor. Finally, Anatoly has some money. Upon opening his restaurant, Anatoly proved to be a hospitable host. The first day attracted many visitors, and his attentive attitude towards each guest did not go unnoticed. After the first shift, the restaurant received 2.5 stars, which was a great start. Indeed, even more successes awaited ahead. Well, what a great guy I am. What plans have I come up with? Having found success in his restaurant, Anatoly felt extraordinarily happy. When he unexpectedly returned home, the new neighbor demonstrated interest in him, which further lifted his spirits. I looked over, and a tuft of hair was sticking out of him. Despite his mature age, he gladly accepted the attention of the girl, as if feeling a surge of energy and freshness after achieving success in the restaurant business. Inspired by recent events and his restaurant, Anatoly promptly proposed to his new love interest. Happiness sparkled in his eyes, and he consciously took this step, realizing that time was passing and he wanted to share his life with someone who had added new colors to it. Dasha, in a desperate state from domestic difficulties and family problems, found support from her new neighbor. At the moment when everything indeed seemed too difficult for her, studies, caring for the children, her relationship with her husband, this new friend suggested that she change her life. They decided to leave all their problems behind and without hesitation start a new life together. Although both ladies were unemployed, Dasha's new friend had just a small amount of money, enough to purchase a modest house for both of them. Dasha, despite her love for her family, indeed graciously accepted this proposal at the moment when the domestic difficulties became unbearable. Now she enjoys complete freedom, indeed feeling a satisfaction that is hard to put into words. It is important to note that she did not divorce Oleg, she simply ran away. The situation in the family after Dasha's departure was difficult for Oleg. He did not immediately realize where his wife had gone, but since Dasha was not around, he had to take on the responsibility for the children. However, he found it difficult to cope with the new responsibilities, as Dasha usually took care of them. The house was becoming filled with even more dirty clothes. The children were left alone, often hungry and neglected. Oleg, forced to go to work, left his little son Dima unattended. Although there were indeed other people in the house, they did not have access to the boy's room. To ensure that their room didn't turn into a wine cellar, their daughter Varvara, tired after school, cleaned the room by herself. Finally, little Dima is growing up. Now he will at least be able to walk, and it will be easier for Anatoli to help the irresponsible father. Oleg shows care for the children from time to time, but not always. Lately he has been very irritable and has taken to drinking. It's good that Anatoli is still cooking for everyone, so at least Oleg has something to snack on. However, the children remain active and always want something from their father. But he, irritated by the situation, leaves, pours himself another glass, and then starts playing on the computer. I will arrange his message. Anatoli, realizing that his days may be numbered, begins to contemplate the future of his restaurant. Realizing that he has no children of his own, he decides that Oleg's children could become his heirs in the business. To prepare them for this responsibility, Anatoli decides to take them with him to his next shift at the restaurant. There, he shares important wisdom with the children. It is important to be polite to guests, to greet everyone with a smile, and to carefully monitor the environment so that each guest feels comfortable and pleasant. The children are still too young, so they find it more interesting to have fun playing games. But Anatoli's words will eventually one day uncover their meaning, when the children grow up and face this business themselves. In the end, the restaurant triumphed again, receiving 3 stars. What else is to come? It's indeed strange that Dasha called her daughter, starting some silly conversation about a new baby. After all, it was because of the children that she left, and discussing this topic may evoke additional negative emotions. And why discuss such things with a little girl? Daria was not calmed by this. She decided to call Oleg as well, just to chat and find out how the kids are doing. Perhaps she misses them and is starting to realize that her decision might have been a mistake. The last day of Anatoli. Soon, inevitably, death will indeed absolutely come for him, and he still has so very much truly left to do. He wants to spend his last days surrounded by the people who are already close to him, his neighbors. This includes his new love interest. By the way, he decided not to marry her, as he doesn't want to make the girl a widow. She will find someone younger. But before that, he wants to say goodbye to her. He strokes her face, holds her hands. He doesn't want to leave her. He is ready to do many more things to make her happy, but you cannot go against fate. While he still had a couple of hours left, he prepared a festive cake for Varvara's birthday. After she grew up, he indeed gifted her his restaurant. He said that she would now be its owner, which made the girl very happy. And then Anatoli went, sat down in front of the television and waited for his hour. That's it. The time had come. Anatoli felt dizzy and fell to the floor. Death came for him. All the neighbors were nearby. They all cried, leaning over his body. During this time, they grew very fond of him. Although he could be grumpy at times, he still did many good deeds for the entire building. They decided to place the urn with his ashes in his room for now. But this is a temporary solution. Later, the owner of the house will make a cosmic renovation and move in a new tenant. Summarize. The story includes various intriguing and complex plot lines and characters, reflecting their different paths and decisions in life. Alexandra used deception to leave the communal housing. Daria chose the path of leaving her family, joining a new friend. Oleg faced career problems due to alcohol dependence, remaining with the children in a communal apartment. Anatoli achieved success in his career by opening his own restaurant and found new love. This story can indeed serve as a reminder that life is absolutely full of surprises and our decisions shape our future. It is important to take responsibility for your actions and to seek a path to happiness, even if it is sometimes difficult and complicated. That's all for now. Thanks to those who supported me with donations. It was so unexpected and pleasant. Very pleasant. By the way, if anything, the link is in the description. Love you all, hugs, subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and see you next time. Bye bye.